The story about the wraparound ad by Hobson's Pledge in the Herald, which has led the Herald to being banned by the Maori Party, which they are still crying buckets of tears over, I imagine. It has led to a group hitherto almost unheard of called the Maori Journalists Association, which appears to be a Facebook page of people who make money from government grants. They've said it's outrageous and they hope that the staff at the Herald are getting the support they need, essentially, for having to work for a racist publication. I don't know, I'd say that the wraparound spend by Hobson's Pledge is one of the best advertising spends in the history of lobbying in New Zealand. To see what he makes of all the brouhaha, we are joined now by former leader of the National Party, former governor of the Reserve Bank, current head of Hobson's Pledge, Don Brash, Dr. Don Brash. Don, how are you?
Very well, thanks, Sean. Very well indeed.
Okay. I don't suppose you can tell us how much that wraparound on the Herald cost you?
Well, it was a thing, Sean. We paid for the wraparound. We also paid for a full-page ad in some of the provincials, which are run by NZME. So I can't tell you precisely what that
could you tell us what the advertising budget overall was for this campaign?
It was about 25,000.
Okay. So that's not, chicken feed, is it? All right. Can you take us through, Don, the process, or how many hoops did you have to jump through to get the ad approved by the Herald, or was it a pretty straightforward commercial transaction?
Well, we know they referred the matter to their lawyers. It doesn't surprise us. What the lawyers said, we're not sure. We didn't have to change anything. And all of a sudden, there it was.
Okay, and you would stand by all the information of that ad being an accurate reflection of the views of Hobson's Pledge, and you would argue factually accurate as well?
Absolutely would. Not least because the description of what customary marine titles gives those who are successful in it comes directly from the Te Arawhiti Maori Crown Relations website.
Right. Okay. So, Don, you take the ad clearly to advocate for your position, and we live, as far as I'm aware, still in a democracy, in a free country, where advertising is offered for sale. You go along, your money's as good as anyone else's. They check it out with their lawyers and it gets published. Have you had any communication with them since because of the controversy that's erupted, or is it a done deal as far as you and the Herald are concerned?
We certainly haven't heard from the Herald. We've heard from lots of other people, as you can imagine, some of them very enthusiastic. Our supporters are rapt about it. They contribute money over a period of months and can't see anything. All of a sudden, they can see something for their money. And our supporters are very enthusiastic about it.
All right. I note that the Herald, and here are some organisations that's done the dirty on advertising-wise. Family First, they pulled some Family First ads at the last minute, I think, during the election. They simply wouldn't run Stop Co-Governance ads. It would appear their attitudes changed a little bit. Don, have you tried to get advertising placed in the Herald before and been rebuffed?
Yes, is the short answer. But I won't go into details of that because I've forgotten most of them. Some year or so ago.
Okay, so a year or so ago they weren't taking your ads, and now they are.
Yeah, that's a welcome change from our point of view. Whether it's a consequence of the change of the government or because we checked very carefully to ensure that what we said was absolutely accurate, I'm not sure. Or
because woke isn't so trendy anymore, and also it's a little harder to make money in the media space than it might have been a year ago without the Public Interest Journalism Fund and the like. What do you make, Don, of the response from the so-called Maori Journalists Association and the Maori Party to your ad?
It's predictable but pathetic. I mean, honestly, as I say, everything in the ad is accurate. So I guess what we're really saying is they don't want New Zealanders to know the truth.
Would you be happy to debate the Maori Party on what they disagree about in the ad?
I'm not sure. On one hand, I would, because I'm comfortable the facts are correct, and that is good. On the other hand, I know from past experience debating people like the Maori Party, you don't make much progress.
All right.
You're starting from different points of view that it's hard to make any any sense at all.
Yeah. What do you make about these comments from this curious group, the Māori Journalist Association, suggesting that staff at the Herald are going to need counselling and support because of the racist ad that's been run by the Herald?
It's pathetic, quite frankly, Sean. Absolutely pathetic. What are these people, children? I mean, for goodness sake, they're adults, presumably, and what we said was accurate and true.
Yeah. Is the ad racist? Are you racist?
Well, of course, I absolutely deny being racist. I believe every New Zealander should have equal rights, and whether they are brown, pink, or brindle, they should have equal rights. And that, to me, is what people like Martin Luther King argued many years ago.
Indeed. Look, as I've got you here, Don, I was also interested in your response to comments made last weekend at the National Party conference by John Key, who seemed to be saying we shouldn't get involved in any race debates and debates about the treaty. That's a dangerous thing to do. He was charting or suggesting the National Party, which you used to be the leader of, chart a very moderate course on things like the Treaty Principles Bill.
I was depressed by John getting into that. Not entirely surprised, because when he was Prime Minister, he ducked some of these tough issues also. When he went into the campaign in 2008, he promised to get rid of Maori electorates, but 9 years later, nothing had changed. So, and of course, the Marina Coastal Area Act, which has provided us with these headaches, was put in place by the John Key government. So I was disappointed, but not entirely surprised by John's comments.